Welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. Last time, we discovered the mage archetype, learned more about Grius as a party member, and made our way into the mines. And now we've found a safe spot to rest. So these places are called magla hollows. Essentially, rooms with no anxiety in them, which means we can safely rest here. It's like it's a metaphor.
Right.
And no enemies will come in here as well. So these are save points. If you played Persona 5, these are very similar to safe rooms in those games. Up to including the fact that you can warp between these and also visit Academia. And that in itself is incredibly useful right now because I can unlock the mage archetype on Will. Which I am not doing because I actually want to use magic on him. I am doing it entirely for the hero passive.
Fascinating. This, right? All right.
Always get mage even if you're not going for a magic build. Well, in fact, you actually want to use mage on most of your characters anyway, just because hitting weaknesses is that important. But on the protagonist, especially always get mage entirely for the hero passive. Like, you don't need any magic at all in order to make good use of that.
I found new power.
You'll see what I mean in a moment, so I'm not going to equip that right now. Oh yeah, I should also mention, there is an archetype mastery percentage. You do get rewards for mastering a certain percentage of archetypes in each character. Some people are wondering whether I'm going to, you know, while I'm here, I may as well use a few items to just heal up a bit. But yeah, some people have been wondering whether I'm going to be mastering every single archetype on the protagonist or anything. Not on camera, probably. And I don't think I'll do it even off camera. There is an achievement for doing that, but I personally feel it's just not that necessary to, like, just getting through the game. Like, you don't have to do that. In fact, I would very much recommend that you don't unless you're going for the achievement.
Still, though.
So, just like Persona 5, we get special conversations for every magla hollow, and I probably want to show off a few of these if I can.
Then...
Yeah, something's gone very wrong in this mine. It's almost like people mining too deep and awakening monsters in mines is a common trope in fantasy.
Let's go.
But yeah, now that we've made a record, it's good to keep a record, as Noah would say, we can head out. And we also have another merchant here, in case you want to stock up on some things. In particular, ice chunks, ice chunks, ice chunks, ice chunks. If you can probably afford to use a couple of ice chunks against the slimes or snakes earlier, but if you did, you might want to restock your supply now, or maybe he won't even sell you anymore because you bought all 5. But yeah, we also have a burn cure item. I wonder why they're selling that now. That's not suspicious at all. Don't think I can afford any better equipment.
Thank you.
So let's move on. Now, remember when there's an item I can pick up here. Remember when Gallica said that there are different
So it's yours.
concentrations of magla? Well, that room has a very thick magla fog seeping out of it. Also, we just picked up a blessed water. We earlier found an item that could be purified at a church. Blessed water is what you need for that.
Got it.
So yeah, there is a boss coming up. I need to make sure that I have my archetype set up correctly. The next boss is weak to ice and pierce. We don't have access to any form of pierce damage right now though. So 2 mages and a warrior sounds about what we want here. Though should Stroll, he's only got rank 3 on warrior. Yeah, I think we're probably fine with this. The downside is I'm not getting the heat up bonus for my warriors. This fight is mostly a tutorial, but like anything on a hard mode, it can still kill you.
All right.
It's a big owl man thing.
What is that? It's a crystal of raw magla. This feels wrong somehow. Now I remember. They say in the lands beyond mortal reach, great spires of crystal stand, and anyone who might touch them is driven mad.
That's all just superstition, though, right? Still, this thing is giving off a really nasty aura.
That's no ordinary monster. Some kind of human?
The way it's moving, it's almost like it's protecting the crystal.
Here it comes.
Charging in. I won't hold back.
Will won't be able to hit its weakness without ice chunks.
Now, what's the play?
They're pretty tough.
This is Homo Fulquilo. I actually don't really know how to pronounce that, by the way. But Stroll from the back row will be able to hit a weakness with Blizzard.
Hit their weak point.
Blades ready. The power of heroes.
Well, that's not exactly blade ready, that's more staff ready, but still. I'll go for a regular attack here.
I shall fight us. No holding back.
Oh yeah, we have access to more turns thanks to hitting the weakness. Benefit of 2 mages. Hyper is this game's equivalent of Mind Charge / Concentrate from other Atlas games. It means that it's about to unleash a really strong attack, so everyone in the front row should get back. Thankfully, Grius is not in the front row.
Please.
Got them right in their weak
It's okay. We can do this.
Okay, what Will's gonna do is he's gonna hop back and use one of my, I only have 3 of these, but I may as well use this to make the fight go faster.
Who needs igniters? I'll show you magic.
Okay, that quote is amazing. I want to show off how useful items can be in this run, and you'll certainly see how useful items can be later in the game. Oh boy, will you see.
I will fight with pride.
Yeah, you'll notice a big change in, I should have actually used the item on this turn. It's fine, he can get a little bit more defense by guarding. But yeah, due to the better weapon on Grius, he's doing a lot more damage with magic.
job, everyone. Talk about a close call.
That attack will automatically miss if you're not on the row that it's targeting. So this fight's basically just a tutorial to show you that you can swap rows in the middle of a battle.
I can't afford no holding back.
You hit their weak point.
Blade, let's go.
Okay, get a couple more turns in. I can afford to just normal attack you.
I shall.
Another Blizzard. I could stack a second defense debuff, but I don't think I need to. Oh, okay. Well, it did that. Wouldn't have really wanted to stack a defense debuff anyway. And, yeah. Actually, no, that means it's only gone up to +1 defense instead of +2 immediately. But it's probably going to die this turn regardless. Let's see.
Got them right in their weak
Let's stay calm.
I think this should be good.
A tough one. I shall vanquish evil. That'll do.
The lowest parts of the health bar, I kind of find it hard to read as to how close the enemy is to dying.
It feels good to get stronger.
Strength is only what you make of it.
Or endurance on Grius, great.
What is this crystal? By my guess, the monsters were drawn to its aura. We shouldn't leave something so sinister just lying around.
More questions than answers, but there's no time to ponder them. We better move.
Yeah, the biggest question is, that thing screamed when we broke it. That can't be good. Or at least it means it probably wasn't anything good. Okay, just more things to sell there. I am running into a little bit of trouble with my MP right now. So you know what? I'm gonna switch... Oh no, Stroll's pretty close to leveling up Mage. I might as well keep him in that for a little longer. And then I'll switch him back to Warrior. And then back to Mage, because of something later. Oh, actually, now is a good time to show off something. Let's... Oh no, you are close to leveling up Mage. I'm gonna swap you over to Mage. And the reason is...
There they are.
My field attack / hero passive, because I can kill these slimes on the field. Every slime that I kill gives me 1 MP, so I will slowly recover the party's MP by doing this. If you're able to run back and forth to respawn enemies, you can essentially grind up, I think what's coming up is what I think it is. Oh boy. Yeah, you can essentially grind up MP. Slowly but tediously, but it is essentially infinite.
Really?
Yep, it's exactly what I think it is. Yep, that, my boy, was a dragon. And that's why I just love the fact that you have a dragon in the first, like, not first, in one of the earliest dungeons. And this is still part of the demo, by the way. It just really sells that, yes, this is Atlas doing high fantasy, and they're gonna do it really freaking well. Yeah, I suppose that explains why a lot of the miners had abandoned this place too. So, as you can see there are a bunch of items and a chest behind that dragon. We have a choice now. We can try and avoid the dragon, or we can be the bold heroes we are, and face that thing head on. I mean, I feel kind of bad, though. It's not like the dragon's actively hurting anybody.
Let's go.
But it is going to be a great test of our skills. And this is why I've saved my MP restoration items. Once you're done with the dragon, this dungeon is pretty much over, so you can feel free to use up most of your stock of these now. I have 8 magla pills. Yeah, I'm pretty good on MP. To be honest, I might even be able to manage it with just this much. We'll see. But firstly, let's top up everybody on health as much as I can, especially Grius, who's my main tank. And in terms of equipment and archetypes, the party that I like to use for this is 1 warrior, 2 mages. Although Seeker has Tarukaja, it's weak to fire, and that's a big liability. Feel free to go for it if you want to, but it's a risk. So, I like to have 1 character tanking as a warrior on the front line, while the other 2 pelt it with spells from the back row. Warrior! And as Will is my strength build, I'm going to go for him as the warrior this time. And yeah, so Stroll and Grius, make sure that they've both learned Blizzard, or if you've got magic build Will, he'll probably be your mage for this. How much money do I... You know what? I can afford a better magic weapon on... I'm not allowed to leave, am I? Okay, well that's a little bit problematic, because I would have liked to have bought Stroll a better staff so that he does a little bit more damage, but I can probably... Famous last words. The main thing is, you want to make sure that you have ice chunks. And it's not for the damage, it's for the extra action economy, to use D&D terms.
Can't say I was expecting you, Doc, to fight. You're either bloody bold, or too confident for your own good. Just so we're clear. Slaying the thing's beyond you. Underestimating a dragon is the fastest way to get yourself killed. Fortunately, this one's on the smaller side as dragons go. We might have a chance of driving it off. Listen, keep an eye on its movements. Be ready for anything. If you sense it bracing to strike, stand your ground and shield yourself.
Unfortunately, it doesn't telegraph its attacks, so it's hard to know when to guard.
Do not waste your lives in a place like this. Now, let's go, lads!
We're on a mission, and we won't turn back for anything. Not even a dragon!
This is Fire Dragon Mauna. Very tough, but there is a very worthwhile reward for finding it. It is weak to ice, and it reflects fire back in your face if you try and use it. Not that you probably would, because it's literally called a Fire Dragon. So, as I was saying, the thing is, technically speaking, this isn't really going to make him, like, draw aggro. However, the dragon does have some row targeting attacks, so I would at least like to potentially spread the damage around there. So what I like to do with Will on the front lines is have him use my ice chunks. It's really all about the turn economy here. The more turns you get, the sooner this fight will end, and therefore the better. So on Will's second turn, I probably should have used the corrosive acid on the first turn, but yeah, let's use a corrosive acid to drop its defense.
No holding back.
Better than using, risking a fire weakness from Seeker using Tarukaja. So we're doing about 20% more damage now. And oh boy, it's the dragon's turn. Scratch is fine-ish. Okay, we took a couple of hits there. You wanted to go for Grius most of the time, just because Grius is, very tanky. You know what? Okay, you know, I'll try and use the corrosive acid now to give it an extra stack of defense debuff. I shall fight as the Hurrah! Hit its weak point, get another Blizz going.
Let's stay calm.
Now, an important thing is that you do not... Also, yeah, I actually needed to use the Ice Chunk on the first turn because there's no benefit to me using Ice Chunks right now. Once you've only got half press turns left, they'll always be consumed by anything. So in that case, let's go for... I am actually going to heal myself here because, if you let people go down here, the fight can very easily spiral against you. Better to be safe than sorry at all times. The less party members you have up, the less turns you have, and therefore, the more chances the dragon has to utterly wreck your day. Now, situations like this, where using Fairy Dust can be useful, because that heals the entire party, you are going to go for the Ice Chunk, because...
Let's try this.
Full press turns are always converted before consuming half press turns, so the fact that I had full press turns left there, that meant that I did stand to gain from using the Ice Chunk, but now, no matter what happens, I will be losing press turns. So let's start off with the Blizzard. It's down to below half right now, and yeah, Will's going to be my designated healer here. Let's go for the 50 to all allies. The dragon does out-damage that, but that's at least going to put us in a bit of a safer place to potentially survive a big onslaught that it could do. Which I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't do this turn. And it did Tail Swipe, I thought so. But yeah, that's the reason why I split up the rows. Tail Swipe hits entire rows, and if you're putting, like, for example, if I had all 3 people in one row, they would have taken 2 Tail Swipes there, and that would have been not good for everyone. So, even though having one person in the front row does not, like, make them any more likely to be targeted, it does potentially split the dragon's Tail Swipes, and that's what you really want. Okay, another attack from you. Its defense debuff is about to wear off, but I really need to Fairy Dust here. I think, though, I might go for another... It's probably low enough that I can finish it quite soon without needing to waste another of my corrosive acids. In fact, that's my last one left. You know, I'm going to use it. So now the defense debuff's timer has been reset, because yes, buffs do wear off in this game, as do debuffs. And yeah, this is why you don't want any Seekers in the party. Okay, let's... Okay, no. Let's just keep using these Ice Chunks. I bought them for a reason. Really, from what I've found, the main factor that determines whether or not you win or lose this fight is the Ice Chunks. So, definitely buy those and save them for this point. There we go, we're gone. Or, it's gone. We definitely weren't gone. It's actually kind of funny. In my test playthrough for this, I actually failed this fight epically, and I had to go back and look up my old stream to see how I won. And again, the answer was ice chunks. And more strength for you. Well, at least we didn't kill that thing. It was just minding its own business. But now that we've driven off the dragon, we reap the rewards. This actually does remind me of the Lost Mine of Foundelver D&D adventure that actually does have a dragon in it, because, you know, it's an introductory adventure for Dungeons & Dragons, so you've got to have a dragon in there, but it's, not only is it the youngest tier of dragon, you're also expected to drive it off rather than actually kill it, just like here. It's actually really funny, the adventure guide for the DM says, it is unlikely the players will be able to kill the dragon, but if they do, it is worth this much experience. I'm sure there's got to be a party out there that's actually managed to kill the green dragon in Lost Mine of Foundelver, but, like, it's probably very difficult, but doable. Like this. I've heard that the initial goblin encounter in Lost Mine of Foundelver is surprisingly difficult because, like, it was actually designed for, like they modified how much HP adventurers started with, but they didn't modify the starter adventure, so it's actually designed for a much higher bulk of a party. But this is our reward, dragons. Great sword embodying the fury of a dragon. Slash can be purified at a church. So this will usually go on Stroll, but I have super swole will, so he's getting it. At least that means Stroll can get the... let's put Stroll back in Warrior now.
Warrior!
And let's give him the, well, you automatically equip the Bastard Swords, that's fine. So, let's move on. Also, like, weapons have unique models in this game, and the Dragon's Indignation looks incredibly cool. In fact, this sword will last you for quite some time if you do get it, so it's very much worth it beating the dragon just for that. However, I do want to go over and collect the other loot in the area. There's also... Oh, they're gone. Yeah, there are normally some Homo tenters around here. But, they were like, hey, those guys beat a dragon. We should probably get out of here. Maybe not wise to pick a fight with them. Let's not show them the horror of dentistry this day. They shall know that horror someday, but not now.
Look.
All right.
What?
Stroll, you just had to tempt fate.
Look.
What the?
So this does happen regardless of whether or not you fought the dragon, but it's particularly fitting if you did.
No, stop.
And we have to escape. I believe you're automatically running, but I'm holding the R2 button just in case. And we're out.
We actually made it out.
So we just made our way through 2 back-to-back dungeons with some perilous enemies, got Stroll's Awakening, discovered a heinous villain from his past, and fought a freaking dragon. Demo's still not over yet, by the way.
And in one piece, no less.
Speak for yourself. I think that shaved a couple years off my life.
Damn storm. Can't afford too many delays, but we'll not be getting far in this torrent. We can make camp tonight and slip onto a carriage to the capital tomorrow, once we're out of the wastes. We'll have to, if we want to make it in time.
Public carriage seems a bit risky, doesn't it?
Not with all the outsiders flocking in for the funeral. We'll be 3 faces among hundreds.
Lovely. Another carriage ride. Hopefully this one's smoother than the last couple.
Well, if bandits do attack us, we're a lot more equipped to handle them now.
Let's just get our camp set up. Somewhere dry, preferably.
Ah, this is so cozy. I feel alive again.
It's certainly better than freezing. Reminds me of when I was a child. Back then, I wouldn't have been caught dead out in the wilderness like this. Countryside nobility like us had no fortune to speak of. My parents bowed and smiled for their money, and honestly, I despised them for it. Back then, I thought being a noble was about, I don't know, a life of prestige, being respected. But one spring 7 years ago, our town was attacked by this horrific creature. A human. Though I'd no idea at the time. I was evacuated alongside the servants while the rest of the town burned. I waited for my parents to join us in the shelter, but they would never come. The parents I'd so despised had stayed behind to protect the villagers who couldn't flee.
Your parents were heroes.
It changed everything. It taught me who my parents really were, what it really meant to be a noble. But our town's just rubble now. A footnote in history. The human that destroyed us is all we'll ever be known for. I remember my father petitioning the capital for aid, but no reply came. Even knowing how much of a threat the humans were. Now, I think, what if the army? Well, Luis. What if he's the one who abandoned us? If we were just a pawn in his game, then I will make him pay.
Hey, Grius. We all trust each other now, don't we? I think we can tell him.
Aye. Maybe you're right. I'll admit the lad's sword put me in mind of the past.
Something special about that sword?
Well, we used it to identify the messenger from our faction. But it originally belonged to His Highness. A kingly gift from his father, to better suit His Highness and his keen aptitude for magic. That blade was specially forged, with raw magla folded into the metal. Of course, when swordplay bored him, he'd amuse himself by levitating it or standing atop it to glide about. A royal rascal, that one. Those days were all too short. Then, 12 years ago, it all came crashing down.
I've heard. The prince was attacked, right?
There was a plot on his life. One I wish I'd rooted out sooner. Just like tonight, it was pouring rain. Your Highness, this way! Hurry these blackguards into the palace!
My lord, are you hurt?
Back!
A royal knight. A wench and nothing more.
You knave! You know nothing of true knighthood. Pledged my life to the prince, and I'll not lose it to you! Highness!
Don't falter! Give chase!
Stop! They dare harm him! I failed him again.
Highness! Highness! What is this? His Highness survived the attack, but the curse hanging over him was powerful and complex. Of all the mage healers in the capital, not one could wake him. And he grew weaker with each passing day. We might lift the curse if we knew the specifics of its formula, but Luis would never give that up. Which leaves but one way to dispel the curse. Its caster must die.
And you're sure Luis is the man you seek?
I saw him in the fray. He was younger then. Younger even than you are now, and shorter besides. I could never mistake him. And now, after spilling the royal blood of father and son both, the people call him not traitor, but savior. For His Highness, for the king, and for the very future of this country, he must be dealt with. To kill Luis is to see justice served.
I see. So as he did with the prince, he would make of my city a stepping stone to further heights. A tool to spread the infamy of the humans. You haven't told that story to many, have you? Thank you for trusting me with it.
A rogue never forgets a debt. Even if it takes 3 generations, we'd see it repaid. But neither do we forget a grudge. And Luis will know that soon enough.
I just realised that with the Scottish accent, though not all rogue have that, and the sort of long-lived and the grudges, I guess Grius does have some stereotypes of fantasy dwarves, but he's also, you know, the average height of, well, a human in our world. The average height of a person, and lacks any of the other dwarf stereotypes. So yeah, they do actually subvert a lot of typical fantasy species cliches.
So, that's what all this is about. Say, friend, this mission means a lot to you too, doesn't it?
Yes. Of course it does.
Given that we're 18 now and that happened 12 years ago, Will would have only been 6 when that happened.
You've been carrying a greater weight than I realized. In any case, I owe you my life. And we've both got something we'd fight to protect. Let's save this country. Together. Ideally, once we're out of this cold, of course. I think it's about time we eat. We're almost to the capital, after all. I'd say that's worth celebrating.
You know, I feel really... I feel so embarrassed about this. I only just realized they're in a cave. That's why there's no rain around them.
I'm beat.
No, you're not beat, you're exhausted. And yeah, no, we are totally in a cave. Unlike the previous camp, though, this one does not have a missable gold beetle in it. In fact, from what I remember, the next missable gold beetle isn't for a long, long time.
You're kidding. Time for bed.
Gallica does seem to be particularly affected by dense magla, though it makes sense, given that, you know, fairies are particularly attuned to magic.
Well... nonetheless.
Well, let's hope we can find a tavern that actually serves us, given that we have Elder. So most people think the prince is dead, but there's a hidden resistance who still serves the true prince. That's what Greece is a member of, and that's what, well, Gallica's also a member of that, and now we are. This is going to be our last chance to save before we make the journey back to Grand Trad, which is going to be especially harrowing for a lot of reasons, not the journey itself, but what will happen once we actually get there. There's going to be a lot of plot, so I'd recommend taking the time to save now. But I had a feeling it would be interrupted during the night by something.
Huh? I'm I'm pretty sure I fell asleep.
'Tis the curse of Atlas protagonists to be summoned to mysterious realms within their dreams, whether they want to or not.
Well, then it's just as I thought. While you're asleep, our connection is much stronger. You wield your magic with ever more confidence. Splendid. As I mentioned previously, the archetype grows and develops anew through encounters with others. Look for those bearing the nobility and presence of the heroes and kings of old.
Or, in gameplay terms, people with portraits.
More virtuous than the weight of any crown or medal is the burden you place on your own path forward. The more comrades and supporters who stand beside you, the more your power will deepen as you soar to new heights. One day, if the people join hands and seize the freedom to decide their own future with their own power just as you do, that is my ideal world.
Hold on. What do you mean, supporters? We're trying to keep out of the public eye here.
I mentioned before, did I not? There is no hero without allies. Only a single voice in opposition. In other words, even archetypes have their own strengths and weaknesses. They'll be of little use if used thoughtlessly. Life and death are seconds apart on the battlefield.
Especially on a
Be
hard mode.
attentive, mindful, and strategic. Only then can you emerge victorious. When you feel unsure how to proceed, I recommend you stop, assess your surroundings, and think. The smallest observation is often our greatest inspiration. Well, it's almost dawn. I will be watching with great anticipation. Until we meet again. The royal funeral draws ever closer. 4 days remain.